Okay, we're live on the air, sort of, so to speak. Let me just see here. I gotta bring it up here on YouTube just in case somebody starts asking questions. Oh yeah, that's right. There's always a little bit of a lag between when we're talking and when it shows up on YouTube. So, but I'll just leave that there just in case people start asking questions. I
That's
left that option open, just in case the audience has a question. If anybody tunes in, you never know. At least they can watch the repeat.
Mhm.
Okay, well, let's get this started. Hello, everybody. We got a new edition of Sparky Vision, and for the first time ever, doing an interview with the one, the only, the talented Mr. Todd Tennant.
Howdy.
Yay! As some of you may know, Mr. Todd Tennant is famous for his Godzilla '94 graphic novel and also his work with American Kaiju. And he's also one heck of a drummer. If you haven't heard his drumming, look on YouTube. I know there's videos. Well, I know I have at least one video on my YouTube channel that you can watch.
Hmm.
Oh, look at that. We got one viewer. Yes. Oh, and I moved the camera again. Oh, no wonder
Welcome.
the cords are tangled up. That's why. Okay. Okay, a little bit of technical difficulty there, but that's fixed now. Okay, nothing in comments. Okay, so we're good there. Okay, well, let's get this interview started. I actually remembered to write down some questions. And the first one, well, obviously, is the most obvious. How did you first get into Godzilla?
That was a long time ago. When I was a kid, I actually saw the trailers for not the first trailers. I would that'd be a little bit before my time, but
Hmm.
when Gigantus the Fire Monster came out, I remember seeing that trailer on TV, and it immediately caught my attention, and haven't been the same since.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool. For me, I first got into Godzilla with the movie Godzilla's Revenge. That was my first
Mhm.
Godzilla movie. I was 4 or 5 years old, and I can't remember what movie we were watching. It was on Channel 18 out of Milwaukee, and Ma looked at the TV guide and she goes, "Oh, I think you're going to like this." And so the whatever movie it was we were watching ended, and then all of a sudden, those cool credits start up with, the saxophone playing, and, it says UPA Productions, and all of a sudden, Godzilla's Revenge, and you see Godzilla roaring. It's like, what is this? Because,
Mhm.
I had seen King Kong and dinosaur movies and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
that was the first time I ever saw Godzilla, and it was amazing, and I've been hooked since.
Yeah. After that, I was quite a bit older, but I saw in a Horror Monsters magazine, if anybody remembers those, they had a review on Gigantus the Fire Monster, and I recognized the monsters, and it was just so cool to me. And then later on, we had back in St. Pete, we had Saturday afternoon Terminus, the Theater of Science Fiction, and the very first show they showed Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and It, the Terror from Beyond Space. And I remember watching that in a neighbor's house, and the guy's sister was a teenager, and she was talking to her boyfriend on the phone. I remember, and even she had to go, "Wow, you got to see this," you know.
Hmm.
And she's telling her boyfriend to turn it on and stuff. She it actually distracted her from her boyfriend. So
Hmm.
and that pretty much did it for me.
Okay, very cool. Let's see here. My next question would be for you, obviously, since you do a lot of the work for, or you got the Godzilla '94 graphic novel and American Kaiju. How did you first get into drawing and artwork? How did you start?
Uh, just picking up a piece of paper and a pencil and just sketching from age 3 on.
Hmm.
I started doing that.
Okay. Did you have any influences, like any comic book artists or anything like that, or just naturally just started drawing stuff and really got into it?
Well, we every year for vacation we went up to Pittsburgh to see my grandmother up there, my mom's mother, and she would let us get comic books. And I remember I would always go after the Jack Kirby Atlas giant monster comics, the Strange Tales, Journey into Mystery, and that sort of stuff. And Jack Kirby is and will always be my number one influence.
Okay, very cool.
And then later on, of course, the superheroes came along, and you know, of course, I went along with that as well. But I always love those big giant monsters. I know people make fun of them, but I love them. I love Jack Kirby's giant monsters. In fact, I would love to redo some of those. Not redo them, but you know, to take them and do them in my style. Some of those stories like Fin Fang Foom. I would love to do that someday. You hear that, Marvel? Yeah.
Yeah, attention, Marvel. We got somebody who wants to work for you.
That would be an honor for me because Jack was the king, Jack the King Kirby.
Well, then I think that also answers my second question. I was going to ask which you prefer, Marvel or DC Comics, but I think you kind of answered that.
Yeah, I'm just hooked on Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
For me, to tell you the truth, I really, wasn't that much into comics. The only comics I really read are obviously the Godzilla ones, the Marvel Dark Horse comics, and now the IDW Godzilla comics series. Have you read any of those? The new series?
I've seen some of the first ones, and yes, they're good.
Okay. Yeah, I've read all of let's see here, Kingdom of Monsters and Gangsters and Goliaths. I read some of the Godzilla ongoing series, and I read the first one of Rulers of Earth, which, from what I've been hearing, is a really popular series right now. I think they're going to be doing, if I remember correctly, at least over 12 issues now, so that series is doing pretty good. Which I'm glad, because, the more Godzilla stuff we can get, the better.
I agree.
Okay, let's see here. Continue down the list here. Okay, going back to Godzilla for a moment. What is your favorite Godzilla movie?
Well, definitely number one would be Godzilla King of the Monsters, because that was the very first one I saw. And I like the original Gojira as well. But there's just something about the Raymond Burr version that's always going to be a emotional favorite for me.
Yeah, the Raymond Burr version is pretty good. I know they claim that he shot all his scenes in one day. I don't know if that's true or not, but he did a pretty good job in the movie. Like everybody else, or most Godzilla fans in the U.S., that was the only version I've seen until I think it was around like 2004 or something, when a buddy of mine from the Ukraine, believe it or not, no, not Ukraine, Czech Republic, he sent me a bootleg copy of the Japanese version, and that was the first time I saw that.
I wouldn't mind doing a graphic novel of that someday either.
Hey, that would be cool. I would like to see that. Would it be in black and white, or would you do it in color?
It would be black and white gray tone. Yeah.
Okay, that would be cool.
Movie.
That would be very cool. I'd love to see that. Let's see here. What was I say? Okay. My favorite Godzilla movie is Godzilla vs. Monster Zero with Nick Adams and Akira Takarada. To me, it just seems like it's the perfect sci-fi movie. It's got good acting. They did a really good job with the dubbing, in my opinion. It's just a great story, and I don't know why, but that's just the one that I love the most out of all the Godzilla movies. It's a great film. I remember watching it on TNT's Monster Vision.
Yeah. Man,
do I miss that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I have all the movies on DVD, and heck, even most of them on VHS, and yet there's still something about just being able to turn on the TV and watch it, being broadcast. It's
still better. I think a lot of Godzilla fans would agree with that. It's just more fun to watch on TV,
And I'm also hoping, I see that they're, I think it's Riatlo Pictures. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Rialto.
Okay, that's that. I can never remember how you pronounce it, but they're having that road show and they're going to be showing the first Godzilla in theaters. And I'm hoping that if they can get to like Milwaukee or Madison, Wisconsin, I'm going because I'd love to see that movie on the big screen.
Yeah, let me clarify though. That is the original Gojira. That is the best. Uh, that's much better done than Godzilla
Hmm.
King of the Monsters. Obviously, it's complete
Hmm.
and all that. But like I said, it's just sentimental favorite is Godzilla King of the Monsters, the Raymond Burr for me.
Hmm. And
But
I love how both the original and even it still has that feeling in the Raymond Burr version. It's got like a documentary like feel to it, like this really happened, and you're watching one of those documentary dramatizations like you would see on like the History Channel or something like that.
with all the teletype machines and the beep 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 going on in the background and all, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm. Well, that's funny. Every time when I watched a movie and they do the first sinking of the ship and they show the guy at the radio, I'm always looking at it, trying to figure out what type of radio that is, because well, obviously, as people can see, my radio's over here. I'm
yeah.
a bit of a radio nut.
There you go.
Oh, good. Sorry, if a little tired. I was outside for about an hour or two today, stringing up my outdoor antenna for my shortwave radios. I figure I got at least almost 200 feet of wire strung up outside. that was uh, that was quite the project.
Yeah,
Oh,
sounds
let's see. It is. Let's see here. I can cross that up because we already covered that. Well, since right now today, it's a lot of stuff coming out for Godzilla 2014.
good. Hmm.
Um, have you have you seen the post from Legendary of Godzilla's New Roar? And have you seen on their website where you get the audio from the trailer that they're going to be posting tomorrow?
Yeah, I like that roar. It's an improvement, and I like it because it's long
Mm-hmm.
and drawn out, and it's got that echo at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been posting all over social media wherever I can. I keep saying, to me, that roar is terrifying. It's like, oh,
Yes.
holy crap! I can only imagine what it's going to be like to actually hear it for the first time in the theater with their fancy surround sound speakers and everything. I can't wait to hear that. That is going to be amazing.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember about a year ago they on YouTube they had these strange sounds heard all over the world, and these roars, these
Oh.
low roars and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, they had a lot of resonance to them, and it reminded me of that, and it sounds like something as big as this Godzilla is going to be. It sounds like that's the noise that a kaiju that size would make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's definitely
Very
going to be a
full
big
sound.
one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and what did you think of the audio that's playing on the Godzilla website teasing for the trailer tomorrow of Bryan Cranston?
That's good.
I know. I
That's
can't.
some good acting. I mean, I'm not a Breaking Bad fan at all, but I will admit with everyone now, yeah, he is a good actor.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I first heard that this afternoon, I got goosebumps. It's like,
Yeah.
holy cow, that is just amazing. So, needless
He,
to say, I
he
can't
sounds
wait to
like
see.
somebody that's actually freaking out, like it's
Mm-hmm.
actually happening and it's real.
Yeah, all that emotion in the voice, and you can like I don't know how you spell kind of like a that quiver, but it's like, his voice is like shaking and
Yeah.
everything. You can tell he's freaking out. Oh man, and I'm
Yeah, that
lucky.
was very effective.
I'm pretty lucky. I don't have to start work or leave for work until 1 o'clock tomorrow, and according to their website, the trailer will be out noon our time, so I'll be able to see the trailer before I go to work.
Well, I'll look forward to that.
Because that always sucks when something big like that breaks. I'm at work and then I get home and then I'm going through all the Facebook posts and everybody's like, "Oh, this is so amazing!" It's like, ah, man, I didn't get to see it as it happened.
Gee, I'm so 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue here on the Godzilla 2014 theme. What do you hope to see in the new movie?
Uh, well, a good story, and I do want to see a good human character story to go with it. But of course, the main thing for me is the kaiju action. Uh, I want to see urban destruction, a good amount of it, and I want to see a good kaiju battle with
Hmm.
whoever he's going to be fighting with.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see, well, like you said, the urban destruction, good kaiju fights. Oh, pardon me, sorry. Oh, excuse me again. I'm also hoping to see, you know, his actual atomic blast and not like the '98 movie where he just,
Oh yeah,
I don't know what you would call that. Like he roars and then it ignites stuff. I don't know what that is. I want to see the actual, his spines light up and then and then stuff's blowing up.
yeah.
And
I think it was called kaiju halitosis.
yeah, extremely bad breath. And I'm also hoping to see, good Godzilla versus military action, because
Yeah,
yet again, going back to the '98 film, they open fired and oh look, Godzilla's running away. I want to see they open fire and he keeps coming at them and they start freaking out.
yeah.
It's like, holy crap, we're hitting him with M1 Abrams and whatever else they're going to be shooting at him and he's still coming at you. I want to see that. I want to see. I want Godzilla to be a very terrifying, unstoppable force of nature in this movie,
I
like
think
he
he
was,
would.
like he was in GMK. And I totally agree with you. Everything I've been seeing so far, I think this is going to be the Godzilla movie we've been wishing for since the American-made Godzilla movie, I should say. We've
Yeah.
been wishing for since '98.
hmm I think it will be.
Same here. Um, What do you think of the selection for the cast for the new American Godzilla movie? Do you like who they all picked? And did you have, or was there somebody that you thought should have been in there, but they didn't get picked?
No, not really. I'm pretty happy with who I've seen that they've
Hmm.
chosen. Uh, I can't remember his name, but the head guy from, let's see, what was it? Well, anyways, I can't even remember the show now. Phew. See, this is what happened when you get old.
Uh-huh. So I've heard.
And the Alphas, the head gentleman from Alphas, he's going to be in that. And like I said, I can't remember his name, but I like him as an actor. I've seen him in lots of different things.
Okay.
And
I was excited when I heard that they got Bryan Cranston, well, because obviously
yeah,
everybody's talking about Breaking Bad, and I thought, well, that's a good sign. They're getting a serious actor, and I was really hoping that they would get Ken Watanabe because I loved him in The Last Samurai. He was great in Letters from Iwo Jima. I thought he would be perfect in a Godzilla movie, and then when I found out that he was going to be in there, and that he's going to be playing a character named Dr. Sarazawa, it's like, oh, perfect.
yeah.
Do you think something's going to happen to him in the movie where he's going to have an eye patch
You never know.
by the end of the movie?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be interesting. Oh, let's see here. Oh, we'll come back to that after a while. Now let's get into the main topic, talking about your work with Godzilla '94 and American Kaiju. Um, what made you want to start making a Godzilla '94 graphic novel? What was your inspiration?
Well, my buddy Brent Elliott wrote several articles in GFan uh, right about the time that just before Godzilla '98 came out. In fact, a few years before that, and that really caught my attention. And then after I saw Godzilla '98, I went back and saw that the screenplay by Terry Rossio and Ted Elliott was on the internet to where you could download it and print it out, which is what I did, and I read it, and I thought, boy, did we get ripped off?
Ain't that the truth?
And what were they thinking? Like they weren't. I just don't understand it because and then the more I read about it, uh, Roland Emmerich, and I don't know too much about Dean Devlin. Roland Emmerich is the one that's a lot more vocal about their movie. But anyways, he said that they read the Raziel Elliott script. He said, "Hey, this is a good movie. Now let's totally scrap it and do something completely different."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
I just have never been able to figure that out.
yeah, it's mind-boggling. How do you go from that, that script for the 90, which would have been Godzilla 94, and then turned it into what we got in 98? It's like it doesn't make any sense to me. I think Bob Eggleton put today. I saw him post on Facebook. Basically, Sony TriStar just wanted their version of Jurassic Park. That's probably all that they were interested in. They just slapped Godzilla's name on it just to get more people to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you come up with the design, with your Godzilla design for the Godzilla 94 graphic novel?
Mostly my biggest influence is Ricardo Delgado. He was the very first original Godzilla designer for the TriStar production in '94 that would have been made.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put it over to Stan Winston. They took it over to him. And Crash McCreary, excellent artist. He took over from there and he refined what Ricardo had. And I would have been totally happy with that too. Either way. But he's sort of a combination, a little bit of Crash, but mostly Ricardo is what I'm going for. Kind of a amalgamation of those two designs.
Okay. Now, I don't know if most of my viewers know or not, but you were actually contacted by Terry Raziel. Did I pronounce that right? Or Raziel?
Yeah, Raziel, I believe.
Raziel. Okay. He actually Okay.
I'll have to ask him. Yeah.
Okay. If he watches this video and if I'm screwing up your last name, I apologize for it. I'm bad with pronouncing people's last names, but
Terry's a great guy. Don't worry about it.
Okay. But some people may not know he actually contacted Todd, wanting him to continue and complete the Godzilla 94 graphic novel. When did that happen? Did you get like a phone call or was it an email?
It was an email, and I was convinced it was a hoax. I said, "Okay, guys, what's going on here? Who's pulling this one on me?"
Uh-huh.
And I had a little bit of inside information, and it was Adam, Terry's associate and assistant, rather. Yeah, that's the word. He was the one that emailed me, and he said Terry is a fan of your the Godzilla graphic novel that was up at American Kaiju section of Kaiju File. And I had about 72 pages there, and I had to. It was a start and stop kind of a thing because it was a total, labor of love, and I had to make a living, so that I could only do it in spurts. But anyways, he said that he's a fan and he likes it and would like to know if you would continue it and finish it, and he's willing to commission me. So. Gee, what's Todd gonna say to that?
Yeah, that must have been like a dream come true.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer there. I contacted them, but like I said, I was still skeptical, and I just had asked Terry if he remembers who his boss was at Death Realms magazine, and it was my friend Mark Rainey, who was he was the editor, and Ted and Terry were writing stories in the '80s they were working for my friend Mark Rainey, and I got Terry on the phone. In fact, I called Adam, and Terry came walking into their office there, and I talked to him just for a little bit, And he said, "Oh yeah, that's Mark Rainey." He said we used to do stories, horror stories for Death Realms magazine. And I said, okay, well, and plus I knew what his voice sounded like when as soon as he started talking. I remembered because I've heard him in interviews before.
Uh-huh.
But and then I fell on the floor. No.
He
Anyways,
found you on the floor.
yeah, I picked myself up off the floor and I said, "Sure," and we just worked it out from there. And I've been that was not quite 2 years ago, but about a year and a half ago.
Okay. And then, let's see, you were telling me, but this is for the viewers, you now have some help for working on the Godzilla '94 graphic novel. If you could tell everybody about that.
Yes, my buddy Eldon Ardiente he is an excellent artist, and especially with a ZBrush, he's an excellent ZBrush sculptor. And he made 3D models of Godzilla '94 and the Griffin for me, and he did that at first, and I tried. I can take them. I've got a ZBrush program and all that, but I'm certainly no expert at it. And I've tried my hand at posing and lighting it, but I just asked him. I said, "Would you like to help me finish this thing?" Because it is a big task. You know, I've just at the end of any kind of monster movie, science fiction movie, just look at the special effects and the credits at the end. Name after name after name after name after name. It's just me, folks.
Yeah.
Doing this, and so I could definitely use the help, especially his help. And he's going to be he poses and lights the I do all the backgrounds and the people and the dialogue and all that stuff, but he's posing and lighting the monsters for me.
Okay.
And I'm showing him how this is the background that's going to be in, and the light's going to be coming in this way. And then he sends that to me, and then I take it and add my touches to it. Basically, making it look a little more in perspective. Like you're looking up at a big thing, it's going to be bigger down here, and and taper up as it goes up. That sort of thing. Like Jack Kirby did with his monster art. Like I said, that's a big influence, and it still is. But yeah, I can't wait to see. We just finished. Godzilla just woke up from his holding tank at the St. George Project, and he smashed out of there. Where do you see that page? That's a full page.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. And then he's going to brief little battle with the Army, because it is a military base, and they were right there, and so. So they start blasting him with like you said, the Abrams tanks and the jets and the copters and all that stuff. And but basically, it's just he knows where he's supposed to go. He's supposed to go to New York City to battle it out with the Griffin. Somehow he instinctively knows that. And it's like mosquitoes, go away. Military. And he swats him with his tail.
Like Godzilla versus the Sea Monster.
And then he gets into Buzzard Bay and then swims out from there into the ocean, and then on up to New York City. And then the Griffin, he just broke out of his cavern that where he was put together by the probats and all that. He just exploded out of the mountain, and now he's going to destroy this town called Traveler, Utah. And that's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be kind of messy.
And it's going to have the dumbest, stupidest waitress in the world.
Okay.
Star, and she does something really. You guys that have read the screenplay, you know what I'm talking about. Really stupid, but I still hate to see what's going to happen to her. Spoilers, not going to give it away, but you can read it. All you have to do is read the screenplay. You can find out, but it's not going to be a pretty end for her. Okay. No. Nope. Ignore that.
Okay. Now for okay, sure, no problem.
Call from
I don't care. Okay. Buzz off. Yeah, okay.
That's funny. Okay, now just in case my viewers aren't familiar where to go, where can they go to view your current and past pages for Godzilla 94, and well, even when you post future pages for the graphic novel? Is there a certain website they can go to?
Well, all you can really see are the pages I did before Terry commissioned me, and that's at kaijufile.com, and then go over to American Kaiju, and then once you go there, just look for Godzilla 94. It's real easy to find.
Okay. So where will the future pages will be posted? Are they gonna also be on the Kaiju file, or is this gonna be something separate?
Well, the main reason we're not showing any is we're going to try to get it published if we can.
Oh, okay.
We're going to try to publish the whole graphic novel, and
Mm-hmm.
it's too early to do much speculation on it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Terry wanted me to get at least into maybe about the middle part of the battle in New York, and then he and his probably agents are going to be contacting whoever to see if Toho will give us the rights, the permission to be able to do it, because it's going to be up. I know IDW has the rights. I know, nobody. Calm down, guys. I know that, but Toho has the final say,
Mm-hmm.
and then if Toho says it's okay, and if IDW is the way to go, then it'll be up to them. But that's basically it. We're going to try to get it published if we can. If we can't, then we'll find out. We'll just do something else.
Okay. Very cool. Something to look forward to. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about was your work on the graphic novel. It came from beneath the sea again. Now, I know I got some young viewers, and they probably never seen the first movie, which you should go and watch it. It's a really good movie. It's a movie of Ray Harryhausen special effects dealing with a giant octopus. There's a real famous scene of it attacking the Golden Gate Bridge. I think it's like near the end of the movie. Forgive me, my memory's a little rusty. It's been years since I last seen the movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, cool. But basically, It Came From Beneath the Sea again is basically a graphic novel sequel to the movie. And it's broken up into 4 parts. And if I remember correctly, you did the 3rd and 4th volumes, if I remember correctly.
Yes, because the original artist was tied up, and it would be a long, long time before he could get back on it. So Blue Water, asked me if I would do it, and I was just breaking into comics actually then, and so I said, sure, I'll do the last 2 comics episodes.
Mm-hmm. Was that a lot of fun working on that series?
Yeah, it was. It was. It's always a challenge because I try to. My style is very different comic style than mostly what you see.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make everything as realistic as possible, and with 3D modeling with with buildings, I model my buildings and stuff, and I try to make the trees and the landscape and the sky and everything look as real as possible, and of course people and the monsters too, and
Mm-hmm.
I do those in hand draw them and then put them in Photoshop and color them up and try to shade them so they're dimensional looking. And that I still like doing that, but it's so great having these 3D models to where you can you can have a little more continuity because it's always going to look the same that way too, and
Mm-hmm.
it just saves a little bit of time. But like I said, I always add my own touches
Mm-hmm.
that way. But
Yeah, you definitely have a unique style, and I like it. I've seen, and this, yeah, again, this is for the viewers who may not be aware of it. You've also done artwork for books. I don't know if have any of them actually been published in paperback or hardback format, or are they all just e-books for like the Kindle?
Uh, I'm not really sure. Is it probably just the Kindle? Are you talking about
Okay.
the other Blue Water things I did?
Yeah, I always forget what the name of them are. I got them in my on my Amazon.com wish list. It's one of those I'm gonna pick up eventually. I just can't remember. I think it has something to do with dragons or something like that, if I remember correctly.
No, no, it's haven't done any dragons. I just
Well, I thought it was artwork for a book for some other author, and you did the artwork for the would be the cover.
that yeah, that was for uh, here we go again. Yeah. Anyways, I've done some book covers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like to buy the actual physical copies, but it seems like a lot of these publications now are going, the ebook, which I can understand. It's cheaper that way. You don't have to dish out as much money and stuff. But personally, I still like to have an actual physical book. That's why I can't wait for my copy of Kaiju Rising to get here. I got the Kindle version, but I want to read the actual book because it's going to have Bob Eggleton's artwork on it, and
Hmm.
I love his artwork.
Yeah, I do too.
When it comes to giant monster artwork, I love Bob's, yours, Matt Frank's.
Hmm.
Let's see here. There's another guy. He did a lot of covers for G-Fan magazine. I can't remember his name.
Chris
Um,
Scalf.
was it?
Chris Scalf.
I think that's it. That
Yeah,
sounds familiar. I think that's him.
he's excellent. He's
He
very
does really good Godzilla artwork. I love his stuff. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's see here. Let me
Jack
just.
Vance. The books you're talking about are if you go to Jack Vance, do a Google search for that, and go to his website, you can probably pick up on the Dragon Masters. I believe that's the only one I can remember I did, but
Okay,
I think those are ebooks.
that sounds about right. I know, like I said, I have them on my wish list up in Amazon.com. I just couldn't remember the title, but I like to purchase that stuff, because I like the artwork, and too, some of the money goes your way. So,
Sorry about that. That just went completely out of my head. But yeah, I did. I can't remember the other title, and I am punishing myself for that.
hmm
But yeah, this Dragon Masters, Jack Vance. I did the cover for that.
okay. Well, I'm thinking here. Let me just do a test real quick. I'm thinking if the audience wants to check out this stuff, they could probably just do a search on Amazon.com for your name, which I'm doing right now. Let's see what we get. Okay. Well, that doesn't look right. Did you? That can't be right either. Well, here's It Came Beneath the Sea again.
Hmm.
Female Force by Ayn Rand. No, that's not right.
Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand.
Yeah, I did do that one, and I did do Betty White.
Okay, I was about to ask you because I
Because
see one here with Betty White on. It's like, is that
yeah,
really?
I know.
Well,
I
that's
can't
cool.
believe I did it either. But yeah, but I did, and I did that for Blue Water. And like I said, I was trying to break into comics and get out of the fan artist,
hmm
syndrome. And so I contacted them, and basically I took what they gave me,
hmm
and just to do it, and it was a real challenge. But here again, it's I tried to do everything realistically, and Betty White was fun.
hmm
I've got one. There's one page with the Golden Girls. They're gigantic, and they're crushing Miami.
I think I might have seen that one before.
Like the
Tell you the
still Getty's
truth.
is like leaning on a building and is crushing apart and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that somewhere. I can't remember where exactly. I'll have to look that one up again. Let's see here. I gotta scratch out, make sure I ask you the same questions twice. Well, let's see here. We done G94. We did. It came from beneath the sea. Beneath the sea again. Um, Now let's go on to American Kaiju, which is another graphic novel series that I really liked, or at least I liked the monsters. I can't remember how far you got with that. I know you reviewed each individual kaiju, like King Komodo, King Yeti, and stuff like that. I can't remember. Did you do any actual pages with action going on? I think you did, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah. I did the basically the first two books. I think most of the second book I had gotten done. But well, King Komodo. Let me say that Mike Bogue and I came up with that idea, and we came up with several different stories for King Komodo. That was my very first kaiju that I came up with, that I created. And if you do a search for Todd Tennant and King Komodo, and you'll be able to see lots of stuff on there. But we tried to get published through several unnamed publishers that encouraged us, and then they went nah at the end. But
Oh, that stinks.
yeah, that was lots of fun. But it was a learning experience, and everybody has to go through it. You gotta learn to thrive on rejection, and just don't give up. But anyways, the American Kaiju comics was something that I was just trying on my own. Mike was real busy with other things, and I said, let me get the series started, and then if you like, maybe you can come back in and help me write the stories. But I just wanted to get the first part of the story down, and like I said, I got definitely finished the first one. I got most of the second one finished. It is going to be a 4-part story, and then I got contacted by Terry Rossio, and that kind of was that,
Yeah. Now that's kind of on the back burner.
I have to, like I say, I have to make a living. I do architectural renderings and illustrations and things like that. So between that and it's like one or the other, and of course I went with Terry, especially because I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah, that helps.
And anyways, but I fully intend to come back to American Kaiju as soon as I'm done with the G94 graphic novel.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the other kaiju for the American Kaiju series, like I said, like King Yeti, or do you pronounce it Pet?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it had one of those like unique pronunciations or not, or like Kwai Long. Were those yours ideas?
Spelled weird, P-E-T-T. Kind of like that's sort of like a salute to the Stan Lee, the Monster Comics again, because they always had Trag and Plog and Warg and all these weird. And they always had, like 2 R's and 2 G's and that sort of thing. So
okay,
that's a little bit of a salute to good old Stan.
Well, that's cool. Now, these other kaiju, were there your ideas, or did you collaborate with Mike Bogue for those also, or is that just King Komodo?
That was just King Komodo, and I came up with King Komodo on myself, and then I met Mike through Scary Monsters magazine.
Okay.
And I asked him to write some stories, because I'm not really an author. I can come up with ideas, but I need to have a writer like Mike or Terry and Ted to go back to and actually write a decent story. And Mike is very good, by the way. You need to do a search for Mike Bogue for Atomic Drive-In. And you need to buy that book.
Oh, yeah, that's another one of those.
I did the cover for that too. You can see my art on there.
Yeah, that's another one of those that's on the Amazon.com wish list. It's that thing is huge. I got a ton of stuff I want to pick up. It's slowly but surely. It doesn't help that there's a ton of Godzilla merchandise coming out this year. So
well, let me tell you, that is a great science fiction story, and if you love old 1950s science fiction and giant monsters,
which I do.
You're going to love Atomic Drive-In by Mike Bogue at
Mm-hmm.
Amazon.com.
Get the promotion there.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, if I remember, I'll put a link in the description so people can go on
Yeah.
and purchase the book. I know I want to eventually. Excuse me. Speaking of books, let's segue into my next question. Do you have a favorite book or a favorite story?
I think I just answered that. I really like Atomic Drive-In.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Mike's stories because like I said, I had read them through Scary Monsters magazines and stuff, and I think Atomic Drive-In is probably my favorite story. Definitely my favorite book of the moment.
Okay. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
For me, wow, that's a hard choice. There's so many.
Yeah.
I would say, well, I would say for like Godzilla fiction, I like Godzilla Returns by what's the author's name? I can't make it out here. Basically, it was what people were saying. What Godzilla 1985? That's what the story should have been. He also did Godzilla 2000, Godzilla at World's End, and Godzilla versus the Robot Monsters. I just can't remember the guy's name right now. But for Godzilla,
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name either.
Yeah, I think it's Scott something, if I remember correctly. But for Godzilla fiction, that's my favorite. For like sci-fi war, I would have to say my favorite book is Horus Rising from the Horus Heresy, Warhammer 40K. Well, that's the book how I got started in with Warhammer 40K. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Warhammer or not.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll spare you because it takes too long to explain, but maybe some other time. But that's how I got into that.
To go back to one of your other questions, no, I created all the other American Kaiju team, the other Kaiju.
Okay.
I was thinking it's kind of like Avengers Kaiju sized, kind of a Kaiju version of the Avengers is what the idea I had in mind. And they've got a human team too that's for the human interest story, that sort of thing. But yeah, I came up with the rest of those.
Okay. Yeah, I see here on the American Kaiju website you got the good monsters, which are King Komodo. I'm assuming you would pronounce it Gigante. Gigante,
yeah.
Gigante. Okay, that's what I thought. King Yeti and Pet. And then for the evil monsters, you got Kwai-Long, which is, I would have to say, my second favorite of the American Kaiju.
Yeah,
Alagon, Poseidon, and forgive me if I butcher this one too. I think it's pronounced Anka.
Anka.
Anka, okay.
Yeah.
And then, well,
Anka, yeah.
Okay. Well, for my viewers, if you want to check this out, it's AmericanKaiju.com, really easy. I'm looking at it right now, and cool artwork. Oh, like this here. It looks like let's see here. It looks like it's okay. I gotta go and compare it to. It looks like it's Pet versus Ankh. They're doing like like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2, where they both fire their their beams and it joins together and you get the big. That's what I'm looking at right now on the American Kaiju website. All very cool artwork. I love it. It's a lot of fun to look at.
It was fun doing it. And like I said, I fully intend to get back and finish that. But the thing was, I had to do a little bit of a turnaround because the big final battle, for the American Kaiju versus the bad Kaiju, evil Kaiju, was going to be in New York City, and I thought, well, that's going to the well one too many times, as Monsoon used to say. So it's gonna be in another American city, the final battle,
Okay.
and I'm not gonna give it away, but
Okay, I was going to ask if you had picked out another city yet, but beat me
oh
to it.
yeah, oh it's picked out. It's definitely picked out.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
one of the big three,
okay. Hmm. Well, people
and not
start
not New
guessing.
York City. Yeah,
Not New York City. Can
yeah.
cross that out. I would say, probably not San Francisco since we're going to be seeing that in
No,
the new Godzilla movie, so I'll cross that out. Personally, I'd like to see Chicago just because it's Midwest and closer to home. But we'll just have to stay tuned and find out, folks.
you may not be disappointed.
hmm Oh, excuse me. Something to look forward to. Um, I just had a thought here looking at my Godzilla figures here. Do you own any Godzilla action figures? And if you do, which one's your favorite?
I mostly get those for my grandson now,
hmm
but I like the GMK. In anything GMK, or I like Godzilla 2000, and of course the original 1954
hmm
Godzilla. Those would be my favorites.
Okay, yeah, those are good designs. I like the GMK Godzilla, the 1964 Godzilla from Mothra versus Godzilla. That's an excellent design. Like I tell everybody, that's another one of those where he looks mean. Like if you saw that coming at you, you'd be like, "Oh my
That's
God!"
that's Mike Bogue's favorite too.
hmm It's just a great design. I love it. Let's see here. I like the design from the Return of Godzilla slash Godzilla 1985.
Hmm.
Although at times I do agree with it. There are some times when you're looking at him, front on of the eyes, he does have this kind of like it was described as a derpy look to him, like I don't
Yeah,
know what was going on with the suit there, but yeah, sometimes he did
it
look.
depends on the camera angle with him.
hmm
I've seen him look really really cool, but you have to look at him from the right angle.
Yeah, it all depends
That's
on the
true for a
camera
lot of
angle.
the different suits.
hmm Like um, like the Godzilla from King Kong versus Godzilla. Um, in my opinion, I don't like him looking at the front of his face, but in profile, I
Yeah.
think it looks a lot better. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that design is like the most popular of the Godzilla designs, if I remember correctly. I can't remember if that was according to a G fan poll or something like that, or something I saw on there. I read so
For
much stuff.
me, it's just the opposite with Godzilla Final Wars. That Godzilla design.
hmm
I think I like how he looks from the front, but from the side, I don't know. They kind of give him a duck beak.
hmm Yeah, that's
And
how I've heard
I
it
didn't understand.
described.
Didn't understand why they changed him so much from the. They should have just kept the same design from the movie before that.
hmm
I think it was SOS or whatever.
Well, if I remember correctly, I read for Godzilla Final Wars, they went with that design because they wanted a lighter suit because they wanted Godzilla doing a lot more action in the fighting and stuff, so they had to go with something completely different. Well, that was the whole style of Godzilla Final Wars. It was fast and all over the place.
Yeah.
Um, Hey, now there's a thought. Godzilla Final Wars, it's controversial. Some fans absolutely love it, and some fans absolutely hate it. I know Barney Buckley, one of my buddies, he hates it. He posted a profanity-laced video talking about his hate for the for the movie. Um, where where would you be? Do you like it? Do you hate it, or are you in between? It's. Do you think it's so-so?
In between, I really like parts of it, and I really don't like other parts of it.
hmm
It's kind of hard to just put it in one category or whatever. But
Yeah.
there are parts I like and parts I don't.
hmm I'm the same way too. I like to refer to it, and I got this from Keith Aiken. I refer to it as an entertaining train wreck of a movie. That's
Yeah.
the best way to describe it. Um, one of the things I didn't like about the movie was that whole motorcycle chase scene. In my opinion, that just slowed down the movie. They could have just got rid of that scene completely. And I know a lot of people complained
It's like
how
they're trying to
fast.
redo the Matrix or something. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much Kitamura's version of the Matrix. And I know some people complained about how fast the Godzilla fights were, but to me that I kind of like that because that was my, that's the whole, Godzilla's unbeatable and you can't stop him. So that was kind of
Mhm.
cool seeing just, oh look, another kaiju, pff, you're dead. Oh, another kaiju, you're dead. Oh, three kaiju, oh, you're gone.
I really liked Anguirus and Rodan.
hmm It was nice to see those two again. Um,
Those were
well,
my favorites from the movie, and those are the
mhm.
best shots too. Like looking up and seeing Rodan fly by and all.
Yeah, that whole New York attack scene, that was amazing. The perfect mix of miniature work and CGI. That was perfect.
And of
And
course, where Gino got his butt kicked. You know.
oh, well, everybody loves that one.
Yeah, that's
I actually,
probably my favorite part of the movie.
uh the battle that took about 30 seconds. I actually timed it. It was about 30 seconds, but
Yeah, it wasn't long enough, but
one thing that I really liked about Godzilla Final Wars was the return of this guy here, Gigan, my second
yeah.
favorite kaiju.
Hmm.
I just love his redesign for the movie. It keeps some of the essence of the original 1972 design, but they this thing's a little dusty. Got to clean it up, but made it a little bit made it his own unique style. I like the color scheme of it, and I also I know some people hate it, but I love the upgrade where he's got the chainsaw arms. That was pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoyed the different parts and all.
hmm What did you think of uh, the story with the humans, the mutants and stuff? Did you like the whole, you got two guys with these like Gatling laser guns taking down Ebra? To me, that seemed a
Yeah,
little out there.
yeah. It's well, it's a little Power Rangery,
hmm
I thought, and I would have liked to had the story, concentrate more on the monsters.
hmm Yeah, same here. Well, you would have thought for a, 50th anniversary Godzilla movie you would have saw more of Godzilla, which you did, you know, towards the end. It was, almost Godzilla non-stop, but, from the beginning of the movie, the first part of the movie, and then in between, it's like, sometimes I'm sitting there and it's like, oh yeah, this is a Godzilla movie. Where the hell's Godzilla?
I was really hoping they were going to redo King Kong versus Godzilla because there was some rumors, that even Toho was mentioning King Kong versus Godzilla.
hmm
But of course, not committing to that. But I figured that wasn't going to happen. But
Yeah.
I would have
Well,
loved to have seen a remake of that.
hmm Well, I know a lot of people are speculating, and I don't know how much this is true or not, but I think Legendary is now going to be working with Universal Studios, so everybody's speculating as to whether there's going to be a King Kong versus Godzilla remake, American made, and I don't know. I personally, I would love to see it happen, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime too soon because you're going to have these people who have to have everything 100% realistic, and they're going to be like, oh well, how can King Kong, a giant gorilla take on a fire breathing Godzilla?
Yeah.
So and
Well, that wasn't a problem for me in my story.
yeah, that that is true, but
And you can see that at American Kaiju, also King Kong versus Godzilla. Mike Bogue and I, we're trying to do that one, and then in fact, it made it for one issue in GFan,
hmm
and then Toho said nope,
oh well.
and that was it. And
Oh yeah, that's
so
right. Yeah, back it
we
was I.
picked up on it with the internet, and we tried to continue it. But like I said, both Mike and I, we had to do other things, so
Mhm.
that would be a fun one to come back to. I wouldn't mind it.
hmm That's funny. I was thinking about that the other day. Your Godzilla versus or King Kong versus Godzilla work. That was pretty cool. I remember that how G-Fan used to have all this excuse me Godzilla comics and Godzilla fan fiction, and Toho stepped in and said no more. They allowed for the fan art still, but they didn't
A lot of
like
people
how.
blame me for that, by the way.
You're kidding.
They say it's Tennant and Bogue's fault because they don't, they took the Godzilla comics out of G-Fan. Well, talked to J.D. Lees, and he said they were going to do it anyway. They were going to put the kibosh on it. He said that was when they saw King Kong versus Godzilla. That's went ape feces, and
hmm
that was the final straw, whatever
hmm
cliche you want to come up with. But
Yeah.
anyways, they were going to do it anyway, and they said that, and so I kind of was wondering myself, but J.D. Lee said no, it's not your fault, and he said besides I approved it was my decision to approve having
hmm
at least the first episode of King Kong versus Godzilla in it,
hmm
and I wish we could have come up with the idea maybe a couple years earlier,
hmm
but
Well, that's hindsight for you.
that's the story of my life. Rotten timing, what can I say?
Yeah, well, I think that's the story of almost anybody's life, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Until Terry Roziel came along,
Uh-huh.
you know, and that was I that came out of the blue. I did not see that coming at all. I never would have guessed that he would have called me. In fact, I tried. I went to his wordplay website years before, and I was trying to get a hold of anybody that was connected with the TriStar 1994 Godzilla production, and but especially the Terry and Ted, and I forget. I just couldn't get through to him back then, and then all of a sudden he contacts me. So
hmm Yeah, that is. I would have to say that must be very flattering for you that he liked your work so much that he wants you to continue it, and he's commissioning you to do it. That is just awesome.
I'm still pinching myself, yeah,
hmm
on that one, yeah.
Is this really happening?
I mean, I'm okay, but there's a lot of guys that are better than me out there, Godzilla artists and stuff, and I'll be the first to admit that. So yeah, I just that like I said, that came out of left field,
hmm
and but I'm sure glad it did.
Uh-huh. That's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned last week, I hope it's successful, and that opens the door for more work for you, that more people come to you and say, hey, we like your stuff, could you do something for us as well?
I'm hoping.
hmm
I'm hoping for a sequel too, by the way.
hmm
And I can't even speculate as to what it would be, but King Kong versus Godzilla. But yeah, you didn't hear that.
hmm
You didn't hear that. I didn't
Yeah.
say it. So,
Well,
I'm
there's
Bill Clinton. You didn't hear me say that.
yeah.
The meaning of is, yeah. No, you didn't. No, I said that in my youth. Yeah, like
hmm
10 seconds ago.
Oh man. Besides King Kong versus Godzilla, going back to movies real quick, is there any other Godzilla movie that you would like to see remade or redone, I should say?
I can't. No, I can't really. I can't think of any offhand.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to see what Legendary is going to do, because they've got the full. They've got the ball and they're running with it right now. So
hmm And it definitely.
Go ahead. That'll be very interesting to hear what will be coming next if this, and of course it's going to be successful. It is.
Yeah, right now all signs are pointing to it. Yesterday, Slash, the guitarist for Guns N' Roses, tweeted that he got to see like early screening of it. So I'm assuming all the special effects weren't quite finished yet. But even with that, he said it was an awesome movie and the human cast kick ass or something like that. And it's like, well, that's a great endorsement right there. You got a famous rock star saying the movie's is amazing, and you got, like I said before, going back to Bryan Cranston. Everybody knows him because of
Yeah.
Breaking Bad. Well, hell, just
He's
because
a
of him being
really good actor, definitely.
Mhm. Well, just because of him being casted on Godzilla, now I want to go and see, Breaking Bad just to see what kind of an actor he is. Because I hate to, I would hate to say that. Oh, I only know him from, because of Godzilla. But in the, in well, for the most part, most of these actors in this movie, like Aaron Taylor Johnson, I always screw up his name, or Elizabeth Olsen, I'm only going to know them because of this movie, because I haven't seen, Kick-Ass or Kick-Ass 2, which, Aaron Taylor Johnson's in, and I'm not sure what else he's been in. And I
Mhm.
guess Elizabeth Olsen's only been in I guess like independent movies or something like that. But I guess they're both going to be in the next Avengers movie, so that's going to be interesting.
Mhm. That'll be good.
hmm But yeah, like I was saying, right now all signs are pointing toward to this that this Godzilla movie is going to do, in my opinion, it's going to do extremely well, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do for a sequel. I know Gareth Edwards was jokingly mentioning that he loved the movie Destroy All Monsters and he'd love to make his own version of it.
Yeah.
So that
I
got
like that one.
that is a good.
That's one of my favorite.
Oh, it's a great movie, but the thing is, and I've seen discussions on this, if he does do his own Destroy All Monsters remake, will it be, will it be part of the Godzilla universe that he's creating with this new movie, or is it going to be its own separate movie where it's established, that all these kaiju have been here already, and
Mhm.
it'd be interesting to see how he would do it. I think he would have to do at least two or three other movies, other Godzilla movies first before he would do a Destroy All Monsters remake, because it would be kind of hard to go into the second movie and, oh look, we got Rodan and Mothra and Anguirus, and be like, well, where did these come from? You couldn't do just like a quick 5 minutes. Oh, all of a sudden these popped up after Godzilla showed up. That in my opinion, that wouldn't quite work out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably true.
Personally, I think if they do a sequel for Godzilla 2014, in the second movie, I think you would have to have Rodan in it, because
And King Ghidorah probably is what I was thinking.
eventually, yeah, you'd have to have
Conventional
King.
wisdom would say
Mhm.
King Ghidorah.
Yeah, because King Ghidorah is like Godzilla's most popular opponent. Now the thing is, how would they do King Ghidorah? Are they actually going to go the alien route, or are they going to go, that this thing is maybe like an ancient Chinese dragon or something like that?
More like GMK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a guardian monster, because how they're trying to keep, with this Godzilla movie, they're trying to keep it realistic. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they would go the alien route. They could, but if
Do
they're trying to
both
keep.
actually. I mean, the Ancient Aliens program that you see all the time on the TV or whatever. They're always combining science and mysticism, religion, and whatever. They're
Mhm.
trying to just cram it all together. That's
Yeah.
probably what might be a little bit of both.
Okay. So, yeah, that'd be a good idea. King Ghidorah is an alien, but when he arrived in Earth, thousands of years ago or whatever, he was
Yeah.
worshipped as, like a wise dragon or something like that. Hey, there's an idea.
Right.
Legendary Pictures, are you listening? Here's some ideas for you.
Yeah.
But we still got this Godzilla movie to watch, so that's that's all just speculation for now. Like Rob from Entertainment Talk News said, it's it's way too early to start speculating about possible sequels.
That's true. Very true.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Tickle in
Cold
my
there?
throat. Getting over one, yeah.
Me too.
Had a sore throat for a while. Bad sinus pressure. Even last night at work, and it didn't help that we were unusually busy for a Sunday evening. The only thing I could think of is people must be getting their tax return money because it
Yeah.
was like Christmas was coming with all the people in the store last night.
Wow.
It was insane. And go figure, not too many of them were friendly. There were a lot of grouchy people. I was like, oh, did not need that, but it slowed down pretty quick, so that's not too bad.
Plus, they gave you a cold.
Well, I'm getting over it, so. Oh, let's see here. Well, I got all that taken care of. Scratch off my list of questions here. Oh, that's right. Our only um, fan submitted question was, and I think it was from Rib Travis, and I asked you last week to give you some time to think about it. Who would win in a fight, Godzilla or Cthulhu?
Well, I think Godzilla would win that one.
Okay.
Definitely.
That seems to be the general consensus, well, amongst us Godzilla fans, but, ask a Cthulhu fan and they'll probably say something else, but...
Maybe if he didn't have his atomic breath, but I don't know. He still could bite his face off.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you didn't have any of these, hocus pocus godlike power stuff going on, if it was just a straight up, claw
Yeah.
and tooth fight between the two monsters, it'd be Godzilla, but
Mhm.
that's just our opinion. And it's fiction, and in the long run, it doesn't matter.
There you go.
It doesn't pay to get worked up about stuff like that. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. Oh, let's see here. Well, I think yeah, I've asked all the questions I wanted to ask for this interview. Was there anything you wanted to um, mention or talk about before we end the broadcast?
I think we pretty much covered it all. It's just working away on the Godzilla '94 graphic novel, and with Eldon's help now, and just trying to get that done, and, along with making a living. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe someday I can do this full time. That's I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But,
Hint, hint.
yeah, yeah. But that's okay. I mean, I like doing my other work as well. I've got no problem with that.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's always good to have a job that you enjoy doing, because I know what that's like to, go to work and it's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, this was episode 2 of Sparky Vision. I want to thank Mr. Todd Tennant for agreeing to the interview. I know I've been trying for years now and haven't been able to because of work. Gotta get those bills paid. So I was glad I was able to finally get this workout that we both had, the time to sit down and chat over Google Hangouts, which this is just a lot of fun. I'm so glad that Google came up with this, and now they have the option where you can broadcast it live on YouTube. Kind of sucks that we didn't have any fan questions, but if I get anything, after this is posted to YouTube, I'll make sure I forward them to you so you can answer them.
I'll be glad to. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, I want to say thanks again, and to all my viewers, peace and all that good stuff.